Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking nice and green. Bitcoin up approximately 5%. Ethereum making a bit of a move, also up approximately 5%. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins also doing pretty good. We got a nice bounce from Sui. We got Cult doing something. Popcat definitely in the green. Aptos, Optimism, Arbitrum doing some really good price action to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project, part of the Bitcoin narrative, and that project is called STX. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. Bitcoin looking very, very strong as it approaches all-time highs and maybe price discovery, reaching at about 73,000. Let's refresh this to make sure that we got the accurate price action. Okay, it's got a bit of a rejection, but still 73,000 and change and doing pretty good. You can see a nice pop to the upside, and Ethereum also waking up approximately 4.9%. Ethereum is getting closer and closer to previous resistance. Now, it could be also a level where we see a lot of shorts build, maybe it gets rejection, or maybe there's enough bullishness in this market to, induce a bit of FOMO and maybe a short squeeze for ETH as well. ETH is definitely doing pretty good here. And as we keep on scrolling down, we can see some of the altcoins also doing good, right? Solana has been doing good, so maybe people are not really interested in taking risk on Solana, given that it has already had a moment, right, earlier on. BNB as well had its moment earlier on. It is up 1.5% and so on. And as we keep on scrolling down, we see Doge still cranking to the upside. We see a lot of other projects doing good. Even Cardano's waking up a little bit, rounding to the upside. Sheep doing good. The OG dog coins are doing good. AVAX a little bit. But really what we are looking for is, projects that, are new, hot narratives, hot L1s, such as Sui. Sui got a fat bounce today, guys, 71%. I wanted to rotate into some of my profits and, my Bitcoin profits and many other profits into Sui ecosystem. And they're definitely moving really hard today. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my entries, but I'm going to be very patient here and potentially take that risk very, very soon if we do get a pullback. 21% for Sui. Great recovery here. Nice V recovery, no doubt. We have Litecoin waking up a bit. The market is looking really green here, guys. So I know a lot of us, worry about buying the green, buying into the pump. But if you start zooming out, you'll realize that altcoins didn't even really leave the station yet. They didn't do anything spectacular. Just think about 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago, how bearish everybody was. And now that we're up approximately 5%, give or take, depending on the project you're looking at, a lot of us now feel the FOMO. Guys, don't feel the FOMO yet. There are some projects that are definitely looking strong, like, even OP, Optimism, looking great. Nice pop to the upside. I'm bullish on Optimism. Well, I'm more bullish than I am on Optimism than Arbitrum or any other layer one for that matter. Like, I'm not even that crazy about Matic nowadays, to be honest. But still, Optimism, if I were to hold a layer 2, it would be OP, no doubt. We do have Thorchain still showing so much strength in the last bit. One of the major gainers in the last little while, almost 19% to the upside. You got to admit, Thorchain Rune is showing tons of strength. But getting in right now could be that you're getting in at a bit of a toppish level, unless we build a structure and you can build your position within the structure. As of now, Not the time. Phantom, nice pop to the upside, looking pretty good. Still within that range that we've been around for a couple of weeks now. 5%, still keeping up with Bitcoin. Injective, keeping up with Bitcoin. A lot of these alts, although, they're altcoins, they are keeping up with Bitcoin within a percent or two. Popcat is looking good, and you see that the list goes on. Even Floki today is doing great. 12% to the upside. Pith, another 10%. And guys, the market is looking good. Now, I know a lot of us on the sidelines are thinking, is this the time? If you're on the sidelines, guys, start DCing bit by bit. For sure. If you're not on the sidelines and you have positions already built and you want to accumulate more, I think the time has passed. You don't want to ruin your entry, but nonetheless, on any short-term pullbacks, and look at them case by case. Look at the cryptos that you're looking at case by case, because some of them really didn't even get too much of a pop. The reality is 5% is nothing, 2% is nothing, no big deal. Rotate. And speaking of that, we got to look for projects that are still undervalued relative to Bitcoin. Now, I do talk about the Bitcoin narrative a bit. You guys know that, especially if you're part of the Discord, I'm curious about the Bitcoin narrative, right? Not so much ordinals, but the layer twos on top of Bitcoin. What value proposition do they offer to the crypto space? And I think that it's a viable narrative. I think it's a narrative that could definitely pick up. It's a narrative that, could basically use the Bitcoin tech stack as its foundation. And we know that Bitcoin, as far as its tech stack, is the most reliable out there, very decentralized, and its approach is secure, and so on and so forth. So it could be a scenario that, we could see a few projects run, and I definitely want to have that exposure. Now, if we consider that there are projects that we should have on our watch list, considering that there are altcoins that are currently leveraging the Bitcoin UTXO model, and that could definitely, like Cardano's coming up with some really good news lately, given the fact that they're getting involved with the Bitcoin, tech stack. So it's pretty good. Now let's move on. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, guys, because I know you're here to talk about charts as well. So we'll begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, and then I want to talk about stacks. Okay, because stacks at the end of the day could be considered an opportunity, especially if you're bullish on Bitcoin at the current moment. But nonetheless, even Bitcoin itself showing strength should show some strength in the Bitcoin narrative. So let's take a look at Bitcoin first, and then we'll jump right into that concept. Really, what we do see at the current moment is Bitcoin, hesitating here at previous high. It's getting into that all-time high potential price discovery moment. Now the question is, it's going to have enough strength to actually break out in one go? Likely not. Possible, but likely not. And we have to anticipate that it already did move nicely out of this little breakout zone. It did its job. Now, in the short term, there's still people that are quite hesitant, quite reluctant about the push. And now I understand why. The reality is, in comparison to the previous price action, there's no sense of an increase of volume. There is not that much more volume than before. Okay, so we want a bigger spike of volume. And as we get closer to the previous high, you can see that the market is potentially entertaining a few shorts. Now, the same way we got short squeeze here, we could also start building, some shorts slightly above that. Eventually we might hesitate here with the Bitcoin price, and then eventually build enough bullish bids to actually squeeze through that as well. And if that happens, guys, price discovery moments might bring in that volume. That's what we need, a volume in bullish bids. Basically enough strength to break through the horizontal, and it could be very possible here. This is a really bullish scenario. Now, I know a lot of us might be new to crypto, maybe looking into positions. Bitcoin right now is in a level of a breakout. It's a breakout trade right now for Bitcoin. Personally speaking, it's not the time for me to take risk. This is where I was like, guys, risk off right now. Risk off. Why? Because you're reaching a level where you could get resistance. Risk on for me was down here. Risk on for me was here on the back test. Risk on for me at the current moment, there is no risk. I am looking for risk in other avenues in crypto, not Bitcoin. Now, of course, we could be looking for leverage positions, let's call them leverage positions, part of projects that are part of the Bitcoin narrative that could do very well if Bitcoin continues moving on. Now, a lot of people are thinking, where does Bitcoin go? Let's be very modest here. Bitcoin hitting 120 would be very modest, would really be healthy, would be great. A nice pop to the upside, given the fact that it ran up significantly. And, we could start looking at measured moves and so on, because this is a massive cup and handle that it is currently breaking out of. And we could see that if we measure here to here, which is the depth of the cup, and we start measuring from, the breakout zone, we hit about 120, 130. Really good level, regardless. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, at this point, we could start rotating into altcoins, but why not thinking about, projects such as Stacks that could run up equally to Bitcoin? And in fact, outperform Bitcoin because its market cap is a lot smaller. Okay, so that's that. We're going to keep that in mind. Oscillator wise, we're doing good. We're slightly in overbought conditions here on Bitcoin. I feel like we should get a little bit higher in the next little while. We see an expansion, nice and green to the upside. We're overbought, but no sign of weakness yet here on the daily. So let's get here. You can see I had the green arrow here a long while ago saying that I want to see this thing totally trek to the upside. And you can see momentum definitely did make its way to the upside. Volatility still pushing up, so we still have some strength there, and we can see that generally speaking the trend to the upside here on the trend, you can see the EMAs are still moving to the upside. And guess what, guys, we got some green histogram bars here. Really bullish right now. Everything is looking good. Bullish control zone, bullish bids, bullish everything, bullish momentum, bullish. The thing is, again, be careful out there because you're buying into a breakout. Okay, so Stacks. What about Stacks? Stacks, part of the Bitcoin narrative, one of the bigger projects out there, larger market cap, will give you the stability. And what's curious to me is that right now I'm not seeing Stacks run, given that Bitcoin showing so much strength. Maybe people, looking the other way, not considering that Stacks is an opportunity. Could be possible. It is a narrative that did very well last summer, where Bitcoin was also showing a lot of strength, maybe ranging from about 16 and running all the way about to where we are right now, 73. Stacks did pretty good right into that range, right into that pump. You can see that it was basically a leverage position on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin ran, when we were talking about Stacks earlier on, right around this level, this is where we saw Bitcoin run and Stacks run right behind it. And you better believe it, it did outperform Bitcoin. From its bottom to where we are to its top, it ran up 700%. Now, where are we with this? It looks like it could be undervalued and it could be lagging behind Bitcoin's price action. And it could be one of the projects that catch up to Bitcoin as soon as we start seeing the altcoins show a little bit of strength and Bitcoin reach some of those bullish targets. Now, is this the time to get in? Guys, it looks great. Now, I do see that some of us might be looking at this as a breakout scenario. It does look like a breakout scenario. Keep in mind, this was the green arrow zone where we should be buying the dip. And I got these charts on the Discord, guys. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord, I have all the charts that I've covered in the past. And this is all there. And this would be the level to take risk. And to be honest, right now is not bad either. Why? Because we didn't make any major higher highs yet. We made higher lows, but we got rejected pretty much at every single high. So the change of character in this structure, it didn't really happen just yet. I would like a solid higher high, and that would require a break of the tops. The break of these tops would be super bullish because ultimately we start to see weakness above, and we can see a massive move to the upside and reclaim previous price action, previous high, price discovery, and all that good stuff. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin, you technically have to be bullish on the Bitcoin narrative per se, because if the whole narrative itself is meant to do what it's supposed to do, which is bring more added value to the Bitcoin technology, you should be bullish, technically speaking. And I know the argument is that Bitcoin, these layer 2s and these other projects built on Bitcoin are going to try to suck liquidity out of Bitcoin. But is there something really wrong with that? Because Bitcoin still, its use case is still, reserve. Right? It's just a reserve of capital, reserve of wealth, being able to preserve your capital, preserve your wealth very securely. But ultimately, if it could provide some utility where we can have some of that volatility to the upside and then quickly take profit back into Bitcoin, wouldn't that be the greatest ecosystem to be trading in, right? One where we have a native reserve, which is Bitcoin, and ultimately we have some volatility into some smart contracts that are built on Bitcoin, and such as Stacks and many Mint Layer, many other projects that are part of that Tectum, and we have Space, and lately we have Cardano, part of that narrative. Is this a narrative that could pick up? So for me, it's still very speculative. Just because I sound bullish here doesn't mean that I'm going all in. I'm still entertaining this idea, and I definitely want to have some exposure just in case, because we haven't seen this idea actually flourish. And to be honest, this is the most I've seen in any cycle where we are getting some of this action and some of this talk and banter about this concept. So a break above $2 would be really bullish to see this get into a very low volume zone. There's not a lot of volume here in comparison to this accumulation range. So we're looking for a breakout. And I know I'm talking about a breakout scenario, but the reality is this was the time to take risk. When else are you going to take risk here, guys? Right around here is not bad. If it does come back to the bottom of the range, you might want to take some more risk right into here. And if it comes down for a lower low, guys, you get it, right? We broke a structure to the downside and we're coming down lower low. But the way the market is looking, Bitcoin currently looking for price discovery, is super bullish. And particularly the timing that we're in this cycle, guys, when else are we going to see this bullish green altcoin season, right? And STX has that, benefit of double dipping. It's an altcoin plus it's part of the Bitcoin narrative. Is it going to pick up with like really strong here and maybe lead the way for this Bitcoin narrative concept? It could definitely be. Let's take a look at some of these altcoins, some of these oscillators. You could see that we're basically in the chop zone, and the price is in the chop zone. Of course, momentum is choppy, no clear direction, overbought, oversold. The trend also very sideways. You can see very indecisive, but struggling and attempting to get into the bullish control zone. And that's where we get bullish. Look at the last time we got into bullish control zone. We struggled right into here and we slowly popped and started to move. Now we got bearish all into here, and we're slowly, the EMAs are slowly grinding to the upside, trying to get into the bullish control zone, similar to here. So I feel like as soon as Bitcoin gets a bit, shows a bit of weakness, it could be the case where, we see a rotation into projects like STX and other altcoins, of course. And it could be that people start looking at STX as a levered position on Bitcoin, given the fact that it's a smaller market cap and it could still do a lot more multiples than Bitcoin does. Okay, so looking pretty good here on the daily. I'm expecting it to get overbought in a lot stronger way. My concern is the range, and that we need to break the range first. And of course, as we go sideways within the range, it is a great time to start accumulating and building a thesis. Guys, if I've offered you any value here, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Join me live tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.